Contribution of some notable women in Indian freedom movement. Sarojini Naidu, the Nightingale of India, was a distinguished poet, renowned freedom fighter, and one of the greatest orators of our time. She was elected as the President of Indian National Congress. The dynamic face of Sarojini's career was from 1917 to 1919. She campaigned for the Khilafat movement. When Gandhi launched the civil disobedience movement, she proved a faithful lieutenant. With great courage, she quelled the rioters, sold proscribed literature, and addressed friendly meetings on the carnage at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar. In 1930, when Mahatma Gandhi chose her to lead the Salt Satyagraha, the stories of her courage became legend. After Gandhi's arrest, she prepared 200 volunteers when the scorching sun to raid the Darsana salt works, while the police faced them half a mile up the road with rifle, lathis, guns, or steel tip clubs. She gave up writing poetry and fully devoted herself to emancipation of women, education, Hindu-Muslim unity, etc. She became a follower of Gandhiji and accompanied him to England. Whenever in England, she openly criticized the British rules in India, which caught the attention of the scholars and intellectuals. And Sarojini Naidu was the first president of Indian National Congress, Indian first woman to represent India, first Indian woman, Madam Kama. Madam Kama fought for the freedom of country till the last in her own way, and helped many revolutionaries with money and materials. She unfurled the first national flag at the International Socialist Conference in Stuttgart, Germany in 1907. She declared, "This flag is of Indian independence. Behold, it is born. It has been made sacred by the blood of young Indians who sacrificed their lives. I call upon you, gentlemen, to rise and salute this flag of Indian independence. In the name of this flag, I appeal to the lovers of freedom all over the world to support this flag." 1,000 representatives from several countries were attended. She traveled a lot of this flag. 1,000 representatives from several countries were attended. She traveled a lot of places, including America, and propagated America about Indian struggle for independence. Begum Hazrat Mahal was a great Indian freedom fighter who played a major role during Indian First War of Independence in 1857. She was also known as the Begum of Oud and was the wife of then Lucknow Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. She led the band of her supporters against the British and was even able to seize the control of Lucknow. She worked in close association with other leaders of the First War of Independence, including Nana Sahib. Begum was not only a strategist but also found the battlefield when the forces under the command of British recaptured Lucknow and most part of Oudh. She was forced to retreat. When her forces lost ground, she fled out and organized soldiers again in other places. She turned down all offers of amnesty and allowances by the British rulers. Finally, she took refuge in an asylum in Nepal, where she died in the year 1879. To acknowledge her endless effort in fighting for the freedom of the country, the government of India issued a stamp in 10 May 1984. Annie Besant. Annie Besant was an Irish leader of the Theosophical Society. Joined the Indian National Congress and gave it a new direction. She was the first woman president of the Congress and gave a powerful lead to the women movement in India. So she was the first woman president of Indian National Congress. She soon became a leading labor organizer, strike leader, and reformer. She also became involved in Indian nationalism and in 1916 established the Indian Home Rule League, of which she became president. She started a newspaper, New India, and criticized British rule and jailed for sedition. She came to be known associated with nationalist Congress groups of workers who did not appreciate Gandhi's view. She got involved in political and educational activities and set up a number of schools and colleges, the most important of which was Central Hindu College High School at Banaras, which was started in 1913. So that is Annie Besant. Kadambini Ganguly. Kadambini Ganguly was the first British empire to receive a BA. That's also the first woman graduate. That's also the first woman graduate of Calcutta University. She was also one of the first lady doctors of India. She was the first doctor of Bengal and first woman delegate to address the Indian National Congress. Chandramukhi Basu was another graduate from Calcutta University around the same time. Aruna Asaf Ali. Aruna became an active member of Congress Party and participated in public procession during the Salt Satyagraha. She was arrested on the charge that she was a vagrant and hence not released in 1931 under the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, which stipulated release of all political prisoners. Other women co-prisoners refused to leave the premises unless she was also released and gave in only after Mahatma Gandhi intervened. In 1932, she was held prisoner at Tihar jail. She protested the indifferent treatment of political prisoners by launching a hunger strike. Her efforts resulted in an improvement of condition in the Tihar jail, but she was moved to Ambala and was subjected to solitary confinement. She edited Inqilab, the monthly journal of the International Congress. On August 8, 1942, the AICC passed the Quit Indian resolution at the Bombay session. The government responded by arresting the major leaders and all members of the Congress flag, and this marked the commencement of the movement. The police fired upon the assembly decision. Aruna was dubbed the heroine of the 1942 movement for bravery in the face of danger and was called the Grand Old Lady of Independence movement in the later year. So she was called the Grand Old Lady of the Independence movement because she participated in Quit Indian movement. Kasturba Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi wife, worked with him for many years. She was also leader of Women's Satyagraha, for which she worked in prison. She helped her husband in the cause of Indigo Champaran, Bihar, and No Tax campaign at Kaira, Gujarat. She was arrested twice for picketing liquor and foreign clothes shops, and in 1939 for participating in the Rajkot Satyagraha. She many times took her husband's place when he was under arrest. Kasturba suffered from chronic bronchitis, stress from Quit Indian movement arrest, ashram life, caused her to fall ill. After contracting pneumonia, she died from a severe attack on February 1944. She died in Mahatma Gandhi arms while both were in the prison. Okay, Mira Alfonso, she universally known as the Mother, was born in Paris in 1870. She came to India in 1914 and met Sri Aurobindo. She was the inspirer of Auroville, the international town near Pondicherry. She played an important role in motivating women like Annie Besant and Neeli Sengupta. The Mother has contributed to enrich Indian age-old heritage and culture. Rani Gadil was a prominent Naga nationalist leader from Manipur who took over the movement to oust the foreigners from Manipur. For her remarkable patriotism, she received praise from nationalist leaders. She was arrested in 1932 and released after Indian independence. Rani of Nagas, the popular title was bestowed upon her by Jawaharlal Nehru for her influence and work for the Nagas. Okay, Rani of Jhansi, Lakshmi Bai. She was the second wife of the ruler of Jhansi, Raja Gangadhar Rao, who protested against the doctrine of liberty. She refused to surrender Jhansi and fought bravely attired as ML during the revolt of 1857 and died in the battlefield fighting the British forces. Her courage inspired many Indians to rise against the alien rule. So that is Rani Lakshmi Bai. Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. She was imprisoned twice in connection with the civil disobedience movement in 1932, 1941 and 1942. In 1937, she was elected to the provincial legislature of United Province and she was designated Minister of Local Self-Government and Public Health. She played an important role as Indian representative in San Francisco during the first meeting of the UN, where she challenged the might of the British. She was the first woman to become the President of United General Assembly. So, Vijay Lakshmi Pandit was the first woman to become President of the United General Assembly. First Indian woman. Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay. She was elected President of the Youth Congress in December 1929 and appealed to the National Congress leaders to declare Purna Swaraj as their goal. On January 26, 1930, Kamala Devi captured the imagination of their nation when in a scuffle she clung to the tricolor in order to protect it. Blows rained on her as she stood like a rope to protect the flag, bleeding profusely. She galvanized the All Indian Women Conference onto a dynamic movement. Besides the hundreds and thousands of the Indian women who dedicated their lives for Indian freedom, there were many foreigners women who saw in India a hope for the redemption of the world. So these are the notable women during Indian struggle for independence.